What's happening, everybody? It's Temple with the Cave Cast. I am with my man, Big Mike, and we are diving into. I know a lot of y'all gonna hate this shit. we we diving into another clip, and it's not the full episode as we've been told. We didn't listen to the full episode of the last Mind the Game podcast by Lebron and J.J. Redick, but I did say in the last one we were queuing it up to a certain point. So we're actually queuing this one up too. But basically what we're doing is we're looking at philosophies and mindsets of players. And the players I have in mind are uh, LeBron James and Kobe Bryant. Now, with that being said, I've been looking at uh, a lot of a lot of basketball for a long time, but recently, especially with the playoffs getting ready to show up around the corner, I've been trying to keep myself entertained with seeing the league for what it is right now. And I still like the NBA. I just don't watch it as much because it's not as entertaining as it used to be. I don't know if you can agree with that, Mike, but that's me. That's just my mindset.
Oh no, I agree. And keep in
Okay.
mind, we are basketball dudes. Like
We are. We are
we
very
enjoy we en- we enjoy football, but basketball was our first. Like when it comes to sports, that was our first love. So
yeah.
just keep
And
that in mind.
I know I've caught flack for this over our last video. And by the way, I want to thank everybody that tuned in and watched our last video, which was uh, probably probably the most controversial video that we've had because it did get a lot of views. I mean, I won't say it did
It's
outstanding
it's
views,
our
but
it's our best. It's the best
it's
video in terms
yeah,
of getting
as
out there that we've done. So yeah, we do appreciate it. Even the
and
ones
we
that didn't like it.
exactly, and we appreciate all the trolls because we like the engagement from everybody. But the thing about it is that we do this for the love of the game, and everybody is not going to have the same opinion. When you have a difference of opinion, it's not hate. It's just a difference of opinion. We
Exactly.
we can agree to disagree. That's all this is. But since this is, my channel, I made the channel to discuss the things that I wanted to discuss, and I want to hear from other people who have ideas or they have questions about certain things, and they want to discuss certain. I mean, hell, I'd love to do a show based off of what the people want me to do, but I haven't gotten those requests yet. So, if you're tuning in to this channel and you're watching what we're doing, before we get into anything else, hit that like and subscribe. If you're already a member of our channel or have already subscribed to our channel, thank you for coming back. Thank you for being a subscriber. We truly appreciate it. Now,
Definitely.
I want to just say with this whole thing, for years it has been said that LeBron has not been what everybody tries to make him out to be. That he's not the player as far as what his skill set is that others have said he is. Now, I'm not saying he's not a great player because he is a great player, but he has limitations as far as his game goes. We all know, we've all seen it. He's not a mid range guy. He just now here recently developed a 3-point shot. Am I right, Mike?
Yeah, but I think part of that is because of the amount of threes that people take these days. Here's the thing: people got to keep this in mind. And LeBron has improved his 3-point shot, especially later on in his career. But
Exactly.
at the same time, though, we live in an era now where even bad 3-point shooters are shooting a lot of threes.
You are
But that doesn't make them
absolutely,
good 3-point shooters.
absolutely right.
So yeah,
So today's game is more wide open. Uh, I think that it's a different game, but I don't think it's necessarily playing. Uh, how should I say? Playing basketball the right way. I think it's basically made for more jump shooting, which is okay, but it's also taken away from the essence of the game, which was a chess match. That's my thoughts.
Hmm.
Okay. So with that in mind, we're going to play this portion of the Mind the Game podcast, episode, I think it's 3. And this portion is just some of the context as far as how LeBron, when he was with the Miami Heat, how things changed because of what they did the year before. So 2011 was a bad year. They didn't win it all. 2012, they came back and they won it. So we're going to watch and listen to this real quick, and we'll give our reaction to it.
Obviously, my first year there, you know, played great basketball, got all the way to the finals, losing the finals. I played like shit. Spo is the reason why we were a better team and our team was more assembled properly. That summer, he went to Oregon and hung out with Chip Kelly.
Oh, interesting.
He when we lost to Dallas, he went to Oregon and hung out with Chip Kelly and learned the spread offense and tried to figure out if he could translate that to basketball. And don't know the super conversations that him and Chip had, but I know when he came back to us, he knew in order for us to reach our potential, one, I had to be fucking 10 times better than I was in that previous June finals. But Chris Bosh had to go to the 5. And CB being who he is, there was no pushback. There was no pushback. He knew in order for us to reach our potential that CB would have to go to the 5. And we had to spread, he had to start working on his corner 3 faithfully every day after practice. Corner 3 every day after practice. We're going to post you up. We're going to get you your elbow catches. The offense is going to run through you at times. But in order to bring, the Tyson Chandlers out of the paint, in order to bring the Roy Hibberts out of the paint, in order to bring Tim Duncan out of the paint at times, in order to bring Kevin Garnett out of the paint, you got to hit these corner 3s. You got to at least be a threat. And Spo knew it. He had that vision. He went and learned. He said, the way I coached in that finals versus Dallas, unacceptable. I told myself the way I played, unacceptable. And he came back with vengeance, and I was locked the fuck in from start to finish. But it was Spo.
I had a question about the Bosch spacing, but because you just said that, was that the low point for you in your career?
Oh, for sure.
2011.
The lowest.
Yeah.
Yeah, the lowest.
Yeah.
The lowest.
What is the Bosch spacing? What did that sort of unlock? I'm curious. Like, what were the actions? What was the 2-man game?
Yeah.
What were the reads?
The cutting.
Slot cut?
The slot cuts. The slot cuts. The slot cuts. It unlocked the slot cuts. It unlocked exactly what myself and D Wade thrive on. Dribble penetration, slot cutting. Pick and roll happens, you tag, slot cutting.
Yeah.
It unlocked all that. And we all know how great D Wade is on the baseline. It's hard to cut behind the defense when X5 is standing there the whole time because, the offensive 5 is there. So, you hit me on the pocket pass now, I get the pocket pass from Chalmers or from Norris Cole, and now Bosch is in a strong corner. Are you going to leave him or not? If you do, he's going to tag you. And if not, when I roll, now you got X3 or X2 tagging on me on the roll. And 9 times out of 10, that guy that's playing the elbow that's supposed to X to the corner, he's Xing out to the 3-point line and D-Wade slashing right behind him. It unlocked so much for our offense. And it gave myself and D-Wade in transition, we had this thing called the Mack truck lane. So basically from the block to the block. So say, for instance, we sitting on the free throw line.
Yeah.
You got one block on one side, one block on that side.
I can picture a basketball court, yeah.
We do it for the viewers. I'm not questioning JJ's expertise.
No, I know what you're saying.
First day of training camp, we had that whole thing taped off. The bigs were not allowed to run in between the Mack truck lane. From the first day of training camp all the way to game 1. Prohibited. You're not allowed to, and if I'm bringing the ball up and the big is behind me, he can't cross the court. He has to run wide behind. This is all, Spo is like, Yeah, he's that damn good.
Some Twitter sleuth will correct me on this, and I will accept it if I'm wrong. But in my mind, when I think of 5 out or delay, I think of the Miami Heat with Chris Bosh. As maybe it wasn't the originator, but the first time I'm like, oh, this is different and this is happening, was the Miami Heat with Chris Bosh.
Yeah.
And
sure.
it changed everything.
It changed everything. Changed the whole team. Changed the whole team. Then we added Ray.
Shane.
Added Shane. Added Mike Miller. We added the spacing. And CB could pass. He could rebound and push. There wasn't many fives at that time that was rebounding and pushing the break. You see it all the time now.
Right. You see Bam. Bam does it.
Bam does it all the time.
Yoke, of
yeah,
course.
The MVP of the league. Jokic does it. It's like CB was pushing the break. Okay, if he ain't have nothing early in trans, boom, right to a DHO. Second side, swing. Like, he was just smart. But I mean, obviously, when you move from one position where you're so dominant, you think of CB in Toronto where he mainly played the 4. Almost probably 95% of the time played the 4 and averaged 25 and 10 or 12.
The ball exclusively went through him in the mid post.
Every single time.
On either block, really.
Yeah.
But it's remarkable that he changed that.
Yeah, he changed that.
The slot cut. Can you explain the timing, the play, how it works?
We actually...
Because by the way, it's now part of every team's vernacular, and every team runs it now. It becomes programmed into everybody's reads in pick and roll.
Yeah, and it used to not be a live cut. I go back and watch college basketball, and there's so many fluff cuts or cuts that don't do anything. It's like, why are you making a cut towards the basket and you're not even looking at the damn ball? So the slot cut, I started to make the slot cut when Mike Brown took over for us in Cleveland. We actually used to have a play. When we got Mo Williams was one fast, quick motherfucker off pick and rolls, and another guy that could shoot the 3 off the pick and roll. We would run angle. Mo Williams would have the ball left slot. We would have a shooter in a strong corner going same side as him. And either Verjao or Z come set the step up. You know what? Take that back. I'm sorry. No strong side shooter. Strong side shooter in the weak corner. Only Mo's job was to race the big. Race the big, get around the big, get around to the baseline. And at the same time, as soon as I would see Mo race the big to the baseline, Anderson, Verjao, or Z will come set a rip screen for me, blind. The guy that's guarding me, and the corner man couldn't leave because it was a corner shooter, and I was slot cut at the same time. It's easy clip. We could find that clip easy. And Mo would drop it to me. And I would either dunk it home or finish it or whatever the case may be. We actually put that in that was one of our ATOs. And then when I got to Miami, I started to just see a lot of guys peeking. A lot of guys with D-Wade had a ball. Obviously, he attracted a lot of eyes. He's a driver, whatever the case may be. Instead of me standing out and shooting threes, which at times I wasn't always comfortable with shooting threes, I would see guys peeking, and as soon as I would see my guy turn his head, I would slot cut.
All right. So I'm going to stop it there.
Remember when he averaged, I think it was like 32, 8, and 8? That was an 88 if I remember right.
Yeah.
But that was before Phil got there. Notice his assist numbers started to come down a little bit once Phil integrated that triangle offense. Him and Scotty basically averaged around the same amount.
Yeah.
But you weren't going to get a lot of that in that offense. That's just not what was going to happen.
Well, and also, if we go to the Laker years when Phil was there, they had Derek Fisher. They had Kobe.
Yeah, and as a matter of fact, they didn't have...
Derek Fisher didn't average a bunch of assists. And that's the
No,
reason
none of the
why.
guards did.
No.
None of the guards did. I don't think since Kobe been there, they haven't had a guard average like more than 8 assists a game, maybe, but like once or twice in a
Yeah.
year. So that's like I was saying, you just don't. At least not when Phil was there. As a matter of fact, I don't think any guard averaged more than 7 assists under Phil when Kobe was there,
Yeah.
or even when Shaq was there.
I think you're right, and that's the thing I tell people all the time. When it comes down to it, we also have to make sure we understand that these systems, they are designed to free up players and to actually help the star player be better at whatever it is that he does the best, right? And that's no different than what LeBron is saying, that they went to this spread offense to be able to free him up to do whatever he does the best. Okay? And that was drive and kick, right? But the thing I'm saying is when we start comparing these offenses and these systems and these players and who's what, the difference is that other players who were the stars made the changes. LeBron did not. He didn't make the change. Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade made the change.
But hey, but Dad, you know what else? You know what else? The problem with that is that it makes it harder for you to build a team around that player
Exactly. And
because
that's
now, and that's the issue with LeBron. That's why every year, and I don't care what nobody says, this is an irrefutable fact. Every year since LeBron has been in the league, we have a situation in the year within the basketball year where LeBron fans always ask or say that they need to make a trade or they
yeah.
need to make they need a new haul of players every single year. I remember when this season started, this offseason, when we were making all those moves, guess what everybody was saying? Man, this team is so loaded. We
Exactly.
got this, we got that, we got this. And then when things don't work out how people thought it was going to work out, now it's we need to trade everybody.
Yeah, it's
But that's
it's
because
the
but that's
rhetoric.
because the but that's the point.
Yeah.
It makes it harder for you to build a team around LeBron because LeBron does not want to play any other way. He does not want to uh, change his play style, not in a meaningful way. He might do it here and there for a couple games here and there, but not in the span of a long season. He's not doing that. That's just not at this point. There's no point in him doing that.
No, there's not.
So
He's older now. He doesn't feel
yeah,
like he
it's
has to.
pointless now.
So
Yeah.
I'm gonna play the Kobe Bryant clip that we were talking about, and with this, I want people to understand that the reason why I wanted to do this is because we have a difference of philosophies, and with a difference of philosophies as far as basketball goes, there comes a different mindset as far as how the game has progressed, right? For some people, they say the game has progressed, it's in a better place now. I don't know if I necessarily agree with it being in a better place because if you look at the ratings right now for
It's
the
down.
NBA, it is horrible compared to what it was.
The
And
NFL is taking over. Just
it is.
FYI.
And the thing
So
about it, with that being said, I'd like for people to understand. You can call me a hater all you want, but I'm going to tell you right now, from my own the way I look at things, hate is what people say when they don't want to hear the truth, and the truth hurts. I tell people all the time, I can tell somebody the truth all day. It can be staring them in the face, but the problem is that it won't make a difference what you say because they are blinded. And you got a lot of LeBron fans out there. Hey, Shannon Sharp.
hey, let's
I
not get
I,
started on
I
him
don't know what
because
this
he's a
dude.
fraud
Oh, I don't know what he's been doing, but I can tell you what. Anytime a
trying to pour
grown
honey on other grown men. Bro, I'm just sorry. There's just some things you just don't say.
Yeah, you know,
What?
there's some things that you can and you cannot say to other grown men, and I'm sorry. Even if it was in an
And
Instagram post,
I love Michael Jordan. Look, I would never say no shit like that.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. The last video we had, I swear to God, some of them guys was, I swear they was in there typing on the keyboard. They done popped the blue chew. They watching the video of LeBron. They like, man, wait till I get off of here. Wait, I'm telling you, these dudes love them to LeBron, and that's fine. You can love a player, but damn, do you have to do you have to not realize what's happening in front of you and then act like it's just no, everybody else is lying. You
Hey,
can be
but
you can be given
oh,
unequivocal proof, and they will still tell you it's not
and
true.
this is the crazy thing. I am 29 years old. I did not grow up watching Michael Jordan. As a matter of fact, I knew about Michael Jordan when I was younger, but I wasn't into Michael Jordan like that as
Exactly.
far as what he was doing when he played because I didn't watch him play. You know who I grew up watching?
It was
Kobe
Kobe.
Bryant.
I remember when you were.
And the reason
I remember when you
that's what
was.
I'm saying.
We would have the arguments, and you would tell me, "Man, listen, Kobe is this, Kobe is that," and I would tell you all the time because I'm a Celtics fan, and I told you, and
Right.
you know this. I hated Kobe, and not like I hated, but I didn't like Kobe because he was a Laker. But I loved his
Right.
game. His game was phenomenal. And he was so damn, he was so polished. If you ever look at a Kobe Bryant, and especially in his prime, Kobe Bryant was so polished. He may not have been the athlete that Michael was,
I would argue,
but
here's the thing.
he
I
was
would
so
argue
polished at what he did.
yes. And I think I would argue that he might have been a little bit more polished than MJ in terms of calculating his footwork, pump fakes. Because Mike did stuff like that, but he wasn't like. I think Mike was just so in love with that fadeaway jumper. He didn't need to do all that.
Yeah,
Like he didn't need to.
I did
You
some
know what I'm
research on
saying?
that. I did some research on that, and they were doing some research when it came to their fadeaway jumpers because both of them have it's the exact same jumper, right? And I know we're off topic because we're going to try to get into this triangle, but they're both the same fadeaway. The only difference is Mike shot it at a 5% better clip than Kobe Bryant did. Kobe Bryant shot
Right.
40. He shot it at 45% from the fadeaway, and Mike shot it at 50. Actually, 50.2%. So there is something to be said about the abilities, and I think the reason why Michael shot it better is because he had more elevation on his shot.
I also think it's because of them big ass hands.
That could be true too. So,
I'm just saying, like,
but before we go any further, we're gonna play this clip of Kobe. This is like I want to say a year before he passed away. He was on the Knuckleheads. Shout out to the Knuckleheads and their podcast. And this was him talking about the triangle offense. And this is why I said the philosophy and how Kobe looked at basketball. And Kobe said it best. The game is not the same. And he thought it was probably in a worse place and had been gearing towards that after a certain time. So just take a listen to this.
How today's play, how
Yeah.
today kids play.
Yeah.
You think the triangle will work in this?
You have the right people to teach it. Yeah. Like
Because y'all slow the game. You had to play at y'all pace.
yeah.
No matter how
but the
fast,
triangle
whatever.
can be sped up too, right? So it
Okay.
conforms to the talent that you have. My 13-year-old daughter's team runs the triangle, right? But it's like the thing about the triangle offense, which makes it so deadly, is that it gives you a structure. And within that structure, you have complete freedom. And so even though defensively you know what it is, the sequence that we're executing, we have counters to it.
Counter to everything.
And we all know them. It's hard to beat that,
Yeah.
right? Because Phil can start out and say we want to run center opposite. That's the
Yeah.
sequence we want to start with. But now if you deny the wing on that center opposite, that plays off. Now we have counters that come around that.
I used to hate when Robert Orr used to come up to the box, free throw line, grab the ball, and you back cut.
Yeah,
I used to be looking for that back cut every time.
Yeah, that's the backdoor step, right?
Yeah.
So like, but that helped me game plan.
Yeah.
So like these players now play accidental basketball, and it drives me and Phil crazy because it's all penetrating pitch. You may make the shot, you may not. You have no idea who's going to be open or whatever. It's accidental basketball. We play basketball with purpose. If I got the ball, if Derek Fisher's on the wing, I'm at the top. I know by scouting reports that you guys like to deny the top.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Deny the top. I'll move up a little bit more, drag you out. Here comes Ori stepping in the hole. Catch it. Here I go back door. There's the drop. Off I go.
Yeah.
Right. So it's playing those sequences and understanding what the defense is going to do against it that made them dangerous. That's why Chicago was so dangerous because they knew how Utah was going to play these actions, and then they all five of them took advantage of it.
And they always keep you with spacing.
Always.
Like all the time. You don't never
Always.
lap over each other.
No, always. They were really big on having 10 to 15 foot spacing. Always.
So this is what I want to know, right? When I came. Look, I would say coming into the league, I felt like I was an offensive scorer, right? When we was in high school, I was a scorer. But then you look at dudes like you. I want to know, what is the mentality that when you get, all right, you got 20, you got 30. What makes in your mind, like when you got 30, most people like, all right, cool, like I'm going 40, now I'm going 50, now I'm going 60, now I'm going, like what is happening in your thought process when you do it? Because like at some point, I know you tired. Because the people don't understand, score buckets like that take energy.
Yeah.
So how do you continue to just like go? Because I was in New York when you got the 60, and God bless my young boy Wilson Chandler. He recovered. He is good. Everything is well with his life and his career. He's still playing now, so he made it through that. But like I'm sitting here watching it, and I'm like, yo, he's not stopping. He don't look like he want to stop. He still want to get 100 if he can. Like, where does that mentality come from? Where you see most guys 30, 40, and they kind of chill out like, all right, I got this.
Yeah, no, I it's a competition, and my mission is to destroy you. It's not, I mean, like I don't say, like we're playing, I'm not stopping at 30. Like I'm gonna keep going until you figure out something else to do. Like I'm gonna keep going, and like that New York game, I knew D'Antoni's philosophies are never to double a guy that's hot. Because he always thinks they're going to cool off eventually, right? So I understood that. So once I got rolling, I knew that was going to be the case. But then watching film leading into the game, I knew Wilson, I knew he was just going to play sound defense, right? He wasn't going to gamble, right? He wasn't going to try to block a shot. He wasn't, he was going to try to play good position defense. So I knew I could get a good look. So from that standpoint, I said, all right, I just got to take my time, be on balance, and knock him down.
I was like, yo, at some point when he catch the ball, you got to put him in the first row. Put him right in fucking Spike Lee's lap. Spike over there pumping him up. He talking. Like, my boy ain't saying nothing. He just out there being a good young boy, going to play hard. Spike Lee over here getting them going. Like, how you going to talk to this man when you ain't got to check him? I was on the bench furious like, come on, dude. You got it. This man shooting from the hash mark, turning and looking at Spike, scowling at him. Wilson just running back. I'm just like, bro, this is not cool.
That was one of those zone moments, man, where like things happened and it just led to that big moment. But like Andrew Bynum, we just lost the game before. He got an injury against Memphis, right? And so I'm like, we just lost to the Celtics in 08. We're thinking we got Andrew who's going to make a big difference for us. Now he goes down. We don't know how long he's going to be out for. The team was a little deflated.
All right, I had to stop it there. We went a little bit longer than I want.
It's good.
I enjoy
it's good hearing Kobe's voice, man.
I mean, I do
voice.
enjoy listening, but here's the deal. As you can see, the philosophy behind what Kobe was talking about with that triangle offense, right? Mike, you kind of out of frame. I don't know if you leaning or what.
No.
Oh, I think your screen. I think your screen done locked up on us. But the philosophy behind him when it comes to the triangle offense, like he said, it was 10 to 15 foot spacing at all times. Now you think about that. You mean to tell me you in a 10 to 15 foot spacing at all times, you can't find your way to the basket. You can't make a cut that's going to get you free. Like he said, there was counters to every play, and they knew all of them. Everybody on the team did. So
Mm.
I'm thinking to myself, man, how do you stop that? And the reason I say that because the most dominant offense in the NBA, and it's been done 2 times, 11 championships, has been Phil Jackson's triangle offense. Am I lying?
No.
So when you look at that and you say,
He's part of 3 different dynasties.
exactly. So
3.
when you
And
look
I
at
say
that,
3 because I count the Bulls as 2 different dynasties.
it
So
is, it
yeah.
is. So when you look at that and you say to yourself, damn, this man won 11 championships. Now he had like Kobe said, you have to have the right players, right? For it to work. But think about that. 11 championships, the triangle offense, it's so hard to fucking learn. But at the
And
same
he did
time,
it in different ways too.
exactly.
Like
He did it
he
with a
did it
dominant
he did it
big.
with Mike and Kobe. Yeah,
Yeah,
he
he
did
did it.
it he did it with Mike and Scotty.
Yep.
Did that twice. Then did it with a very young Kobe and Shaq. Shaq leaves,
Yep.
and then he does it again with Kobe and Pau.
Exactly. And,
So
and if you think about it, when it comes to what he did, as far as the philosophy goes, Kobe said it. It drives him and Phil nuts because right now, what these teams are doing is just accidental basketball. They're,
yeah, there's no
they're
purpose behind
there's
it.
no purpose behind it. And so when I look at what's happening now in the NBA, there's a reason why the NBA's ratings are down. It's because basketball is a ballet, okay? There's all these things that lead up to the final, right? But with the lead up, there's so much beautiful shit happening on the court and the chess match that's being played between both teams. But right now in the NBA, everybody's doing the same shit.
Exactly. And you know
There's
what's crazy?
there's no there's
I was
no there's no difference in the offenses anymore.
no. And you know what's crazy is that when the Warriors first started coming together, right, and they started winning, and everybody started to notice them, right? Their offense was so different. The way that Kerr, and people have to give Kerr credit for this, like the way that Kerr decided to use Curry and have Draymond be the one being the main ball handler, it
Yeah.
was so much different to what everybody else was doing. It wasn't something that we really seen before because you never really seen a player like Steph Curry. You had guys like Rip Hamilton that used the whole off ball thing,
Yeah.
and you know, but he wasn't the ball handler that Steph Curry was either.
No.
And I don't think he definitely wasn't the shooter that Steph was because Rip was more so using that it was more of a mid range thing for him.
When
But
you say
Curry
that,
was different.
yeah, he was. And see, this is why I have a lot of problems with LeBron is great for what he is. He's a great player. Don't get me wrong. But
Bro,
do you realize how much better he would have been if he would have been able to learn how to move without the ball and pull up
man,
off the
listen.
dribble
If
with a
LeBron, no,
jumper?
let me put it this way: if LeBron had a consistent jump shot, he doesn't even need to be. It's the same with Mike. Mike wasn't the greatest 3-point shooter. We know that,
Exactly.
but Mike was a hell of a jump shooter. Like if you needed a jump shot, just
His
from
hey,
anywhere.
He was a pure shooter in the mid-range game.
He was a bucket getter. Yes,
Yes.
he was a bucket getter. And if you needed a jumper, he could hit that jumper for you on a consistent basis.
Yep.
If LeBron had that, we probably would be talking about him differently. But I think the problem is it's not even just about that. It's a mentality thing as well.
Yeah.
Because that's what separates Mike from everybody else. There were other great guards in the league when Mike was in the league. You had Dominique Wilkins. You had Clyde Drexler. They were talented as well. I would argue that Dominique was just as athletic as Mike was, if not a little bit more.
He was, but they didn't.
I can make that argument.
They didn't consider Dominique a guard. They considered him a small forward.
He was a forward. Yeah, and I get that. But I'm just saying, they kind of still played that same,
Yeah, but there was guys
they were kind
like
of the still same player.
There were guys like Reggie Miller, who were in the league at that time.
Yeah, exactly.
But
I'm just saying the mentality is different though, because that's what separated Mike from everybody.
Yeah,
his mentality was just through the roof. So
the thing you have to remember is when it comes down to it, we can argue semantics all day about, well, he's the leading scorer in the NBA. Nobody's ever going to touch that record, right? But ask yourself, is he playing now for championships or is he playing for records? Stats.
Exactly.
To me, if you're gonna do this, if you're gonna play in this game, it's like we put on there with Herm Edwards the last video. You play to win. And if you stop playing to win and you're just playing to stat pad or pad stats, excuse me, then you're in it for the wrong fucking reason. I don't give a damn.
I want to, man, I gotta say this, bro. I just want to ask everybody: when have we ever measured a player's greatness by accumulative stats? I'll wait, because I ain't never heard somebody argue that Nikola Jokic is MVP because he scored 2,500 points in the season.
No, it's about.
Or he had 500 assists in the season. Nobody's ever done that. You know what they do? Dad? Let me tell you what they do. They'll say, man, Nikola Jokic, he should be MVP because he averaged 27, 12, and 8 assists a game.
That's how
they don't be like, well,
that's how we've always looked at it.
Exactly. So why are we doing this thing now, since LeBron has the 40,000 points or whatever, where we're talking about, well, he's the number one all-time scorer of all time?
It's called narrative. You've got to change the narrative to fit
where was that energy when Whoa. Where was that energy when Kareem had it for 30 plus years?
I know.
Because Kareem has the accolades.
Yeah.
He has the rings. He has the MVPs. He had the points. I mean, what are we doing? LeBron fans never used the fact that Kareem was the all-time leading scorer as a reason for him to be the GOAT. They never used that in an argument. So why are we doing it now? And they never used longevity. Because we all know that Kareem played for 20 plus years. He had a way longer career than what Jordan did, but nobody used longevity for Kareem over Mike. So why are we doing it now?
I'm gonna tell y'all, if y'all don't know, right? I'm gonna tell y'all,
y'all gotta stop this, man.
I don't hate LeBron. Mike does not like LeBron, and it's not that he doesn't necessarily like LeBron.
It's not hate.
He doesn't like the fans that try to change.
The fans are the worst.
Yeah.
The fans are the worst.
I'm not saying that all fans are like that, because I know some LeBron fans who are realistic, and they'll say, nah, I love LeBron. He's my GOAT, but I've watched the others before him, and I can't tell you that he's better than them at all. I can just say he did things different. And he did. He did things different, right?
And that's fine.
He won those games and those championships the way he won them, because of his ability. And like he said in the video we watched, the coaching opened it up for him to use his ability to the best for the team. All I'm going to say is this. When we get to these discussions, We have to be realistic. We have to. When we start becoming unrealistic and then people have differences of opinion, then we get to the situation where now everybody wants to say you're hating. Like I said before, it's not hate if you have a difference of opinion. It's just what that is. It's a difference of opinion. And, like they
Also,
say, all the time, with a difference of opinion, everybody has one. And they smell sometimes. Sometimes they stink, right? What were you going to
I
say?
was just gonna say, I was just gonna say. Also, listen, I get if you're a LeBron fan, that is completely fine. But this is what I'm tired of seeing. I'm tired of seeing y'all want to make LeBron, y'all want to put him up here so bad that you'll diminish an entire era of
Yeah,
basketball in order to do it. This is the thing. No player playing today would be here if it wasn't for those before them. The trashing of earlier eras has to stop. It's disrespectful. I don't care if you think they couldn't play ball at the time or if you think they were trash. None of that matters. It's disrespectful. Quit disrespecting the players that played before them because we wouldn't be watching this sport if it wasn't for them.
and you wouldn't get
It's as
paid the way
simple as
you're getting
that.
paid. You would not be
Exactly.
getting
These
paid the way
players,
you're getting paid.
yeah.
And,
You think
you know,
you think these players would be getting paid the way they're getting paid if it wasn't for Michael Jordan?
nope,
Do you really think that?
it would not.
Because Michael Jordan wouldn't get paid money like this, even when he deserved it, when he deserved to.
Yeah,
His entire career, he was underpaid until his last year.
well,
Y'all gotta stop doing that, man. Quit disrespecting our goats, our players that put this game on the map. You don't see that in any other sport except for basketball. You don't see it in football. You don't see it in basketball. You don't see it in soccer, golf, none of that. Nobody trashes the earlier players or the generations that came before them just to make it seem like their generation is so much greater. Y'all
I
gotta
can,
stop doing that, man.
I can just
Stop
say,
it.
this, and we're gonna be out this video. Everybody, when it comes to the generations, right? Everybody learns from the generation before. Everybody.
Mhm.
Okay. Michael didn't just come from out of nowhere and just start playing. He watched guys. He watched guys like
Dr.
Dr.
J,
J, right?
I would argue that's his biggest
If
influence.
it was Kobe watched Michael. He even says it in his videos. Michael Jordan was his biggest influence, right? And it's apparent. You watch him how he plays, the way he walked, the way he ran the
I
court.
mean, LeBron, who do you
Le-
think was LeBron's biggest influence? What did
exactly.
he come in wearing? What number did he come in wearing?
So
Oh, y'all got to stop this.
when we look at these things, we have to understand that if it's not for the era before, you don't have what you have now, right? So this we done with the '90s bullshit. Hey,
Got to stop.
it's
In
it's
that,
it's
please.
catchy. It's catchy, right? It's catchy. I'll let you have that. We done with the '90s, but you got to remember something. Without the '90s, there's no 2000s. Without the 2000s, there's no 2010s, and without no 2010s, there's no now.
And
Respect,
let's be real. But let's be
respect your
real.
eras. Respect the eras
Yeah.
that came before you.
Let's be real. There was players doing certain things then that they're not doing now.
Yeah,
Like I can make that argument. There there were players playing then that were making passes that players can't make today. There's nobody in the league that can pass the ball like Magic Johnson.
yeah,
Nobody.
nobody. So
Nobody. I would argue there has not been a player, including LeBron, that could pass the ball the way that Magic Johnson can. Period.
yeah,
Go look at the tape.
you're right. I can't argue that. With that being said, we're gonna end tonight's video. We we don't do this for uh, we don't do this for the bag. Like somebody tried to put on one of the comments, LeBron's making it to where you guys can eat again, where you guys can eat. So you can eventually get to the bag. Listen, I don't do this for that.
And we eating just fine.
I'm gonna be honest with you, everybody. I do this because I love sports. If y'all can't
No,
tell by
straight
my
up.
surroundings, I love sports. And the thing about sports is everybody sees things differently. So
For sure.
I'm gonna leave it at that, right? I'm gonna leave it at that. But I'm gonna say, if you like what you've seen tonight, our content, we try to we try to be fair. I try to be reasonable. Sometimes Mike can be a little egregious with his behavior.
Man, hey, listen, man. People just say ridiculous stuff
I
sometimes,
get
man.
it.
Like,
But you got to
bro,
remember,
I
everybody,
just
like I said, everybody's got a difference of opinion, right? So what I'm saying is, if you like it, we want you to understand our what we're trying to do here. We're trying to build a community, and since we're trying to build a community, I want everybody to actually look at this and say, "Hey, look," and this is how I feel. If you want to be able to come and say what you want to say, trolls, you are more than welcome to come on our page or our channel anyway and say what you got to say. We will accept whatever you say. We will even give some banter back. We can have a discussion. I want everybody to be a part of this community. Even if you don't agree with everything we have to say, right? But we want you to be a part of this community because we actually think that sports should be something that can be discussed among people who love sports. It doesn't matter what side you pull for. If you pull for the Celtics, like me, or if you pull for the Lakers, like Mike.
I'm gonna be
Res-
honest, and I'm not even
Respect the
gonna go there.
game. Just respect the game.
The
Respect the
facts,
game.
facts.
That's all, right? So, like I said, if you like what you see, and you like us, and you like what we're talking about, give us give us another chance. Come back, watch us, subscribe, like, hit that notification bell. We want everybody to come back. We are trying to build this community, and we want to do it one subscriber at a time. Until next
Straight up.
time, everybody, thank you, and we'll catch you on the next one. We out. JJ.